The investigation now in full swing as a city and a nation mourns. President Trump today in Indianapolis speaking about the horrific shooting.
This wicked act of mass murder is pure evil, hard to believe, and frankly, something that is unimaginable. Our nation and the world are shocked and stunned by the grief.
Garrett Tenney is live in Pittsburgh with the very latest. Garrett?
Well, Arthel, we've heard several officials now describe this scene as horrific and one of the worst they have ever seen, and we're starting to get a bit of an idea as to why that is. This past hour in a press conference with the FBI, we learned that around 9:55 this morning, Robert Bowers walked into the synagogue, and within minutes, he opened fire on all of those who were worshiping at the time. Now, within minutes, he had killed 11 people, injured 2 others. Officers arrived then just as he was starting to leave the building. He engaged in a gunfight with them, shot 2 of those officers, and then he went back inside. SWAT officers started moving in. He continued to exchange gunfire with them, injuring 2 more SWAT officers before eventually he surrendered with several gunshot wounds of his own. Now, in total, police say he was inside for 20 minutes. And the fact that he was in there that long, they say it is a miracle that this wasn't worse.
This is the most horrific crime scene I've seen in 22 years with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Had it not been for the quick and heroic response, this would have been much worse.
There were no children killed in this shooting, which is significant because what we had heard from local church leaders was that one of the services taking place this morning at the synagogue was for the naming of a baby. Now, the other 6 who were injured, 2 remain in critical condition. The others are said to be in serious but stable condition. In terms of the investigation, the FBI said it has no knowledge that Bowers was on law enforcement's radar before today. They have already begun digging into every aspect of his life, his residences, his vehicle, his connections socially and familially. And they are also looking into his social media presence as well and his movements over the last few days. And investigators, as they continue to look into that, they say that this is being treated as a hate crime. And that is partly in due part to reports that as he walked into the synagogue that he yelled, "All Jews must die." Now, that is not being confirmed. They said they are looking into those reports as this investigation continues, but that as well as into social media postings that are said to have been attributed to him are in part why they are treating this as a hate crime case at this point. The U.S. attorney said that he expects to file criminal charges shortly, perhaps as soon as today. Tonight, meanwhile, here in this community, they are continuing to mourn the great loss of this incident. There are several vigils being planned at some local synagogues as well as some other churches here in the area to mourn that loss and also to give thanks that, as law enforcement officials said, that this wasn't worse when it very much could have been. They are hoping to release more details about the 11 people who lost their life in this attack tomorrow morning. Arthel and Eric.
All right, Garrett, thank you very much.